Hi, I'm Jan,
And I'm Jam, and
and
welcome
welcome
to
to
our
our channel
channel.
where we are exploring the threads of creativity, carrying on the crafty tradition of the ones who came before us. Stick around to the end of the video to hear a little bit more about why we made this channel.
Without further ado, let's get into the video. So we recently decided to do a blanket pattern together, and the pattern we chose is none other than the viral 6-day star blanket pattern.
There are a few variations on this pattern, but this is the one that's called 6-Day Star Blanket by Betty McNitt. We will link information to her channel and videos and her blog below.
So Betty McNitt calls this pattern easy but not beginner. Personally, I disagree that it's easy. I think it's mildly challenging, but this was also my first time making a blanket. So, what did you think as a more experienced crocheter?
I thought it was not super easy, but also not extremely hard. It definitely required focus to know which round you were on and which repeat you were on.
For sure. As far as the 6-day timeline, she specifies that most crocheters will need to work for about 2 to 4 hours per day in order to finish it in 6 days.
So the way the pattern is set up, there are 8 setup rounds that you do only one time, then 6 rounds. Once you do the setup, you're just repeating the 6 rounds over and over until you reach the desired size. Betty McNitt suggests doing the setup rounds and first repeat on the very first day. Then at least one repeat per day after that. Blankets with more than 6 repeats would need more than 4 hours per day in order to finish it in 6 days.
Hmm. So she's very specific on how to get it done in 6 days. We definitely took longer than
Yeah.
6 days to finish ours, but let us know in the comments if you did succeed in making this blanket in 6 days, because I like how she outlined specifically how to do it in 6 days.
So you're going to need multiple hooks for this project. And she recommends sizing up when the blanket begins to curl. So you'll find as you're going through the rounds, you'll get to points where you'll see the points of the star curling up. That means it's time to size up to a new hook, a bigger hook. We found we had to size up multiple times. You should probably have at least 4 hooks of increasing sizes available because you will have to size up definitely more than once.
Another tip that we think would be helpful is to use stitch markers with numbers to mark your rounds. One easy way to do this is to just get some beads with numbers on them and safety pins and just put the beads onto the safety pins, stick the safety pins into your work just like you would a stitch marker, and that helps you to remember how many rounds you've done, what repeat you're on, because it can get confusing with the big numbers.
So there was a lot we liked about this project, and there were some cons. One of the things we liked is that it's a very versatile pattern, from color choices to different size options, everything from a baby blanket on up. You can basically make it as big as you want, and you get to choose how many repeats that you do. It seems to always come out looking nice.
Yeah, we've seen like a lot of different star blankets. If you just look up 6-day star blanket, you'll see so many different ones, different colors, different types of yarn, and they all look beautiful. You really
Yeah.
can't go wrong.
The pattern didn't have many difficult stitches in it. It called for single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. The 2 special stitches listed were double crochet 2 together and double crochet 3 together, which aren't hard. They just may take a second for you to master if you've never done them before. There was one exception. There was one other special stitch, which we'll talk about in the cons, but we definitely didn't find it too challenging as far as complex stitches go.
Overall, the pattern was fun and challenging. It's a slight twist on a basic blanket pattern. Betty McKnit also has a series of video tutorials so you can just follow along with her.
Yeah, and it looked like she did crochet alongs uh, live, which was super cool idea.
Another cool thing is she has a version of the tutorial specifically for lefties, which is awesome. It's not something that I've really seen a lot of people doing, so I love that she took the time to do so for the left handed folks. So, one thing that we did struggle with a bit was finding help in the video series. Because there's so many videos, it's kind of hard to find the specific row that you need help with sometimes.
Another thing is there's no round one. So in the beginning, you do setup rounds. And after you complete those setup rounds, you will go straight to round two. That is a little bit confusing at first. You kind of think, did I miss something? Where's the round one? Um, so just be prepared for that. You do setup rounds and then right to round two.
Yeah. The numbers can get confusing also as far as how many of each kind of stitch you should have in the round. She does include that in the pattern. The amount is increasing each repeat you do, so you end up with some really big numbers and it can get a little bit confusing, but that kind of also comes with the territory of doing a big project like a blanket. And then the last thing is that the border is done with reverse single crochet,
Mhm.
which looks great and it isn't very difficult. But we had never heard of it, and
Mhm.
Betty McKnit didn't have a video on how to do it on her channel. So, of course, we were able to just find another tutorial here on YouTube, but it just made it take a little bit longer.
So, what are your thoughts after completing your first ever crochet blanket?
Well, first of all, I had fun working on it, which is good because I was working on it for quite some time. It took longer than 6 days, but that's to be expected if you're not crocheting like 2 to 4 hours every day, like she says in the pattern. If you've never done a big project before, I'd say be prepared for how much time and how much focus it takes. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this pattern for someone's first ever blanket unless they have a good amount of experience with crochet in general, like other crochet projects, or someone to help them. So, thankfully, since I was doing this with my mom, I
Mhm.
had you to go to when I got confused. So, yeah, I'd say maybe start with a simpler blanket for your first one ever.
We had a lot of fun doing this project, and we loved how the blankets turned out. They're really cute. Let us know in the comments if you've tried the 6 Day Star blanket or if you're planning to make the 6 Day Star blanket. We want to hear how it went for you. What were your pros? What were your cons? Did you get it done in 6 days or did it take longer, like for us? Did you find it challenging? Please tell us all about your experiences.
Hey there, you made it to the end. Thanks so much for watching. Willie Rose Stitch Tradition is named for and honors two fantastic women in our family and their love for crafting, especially crochet and sewing. We're really excited to be continuing their legacy. We hope you'll join us in exploring our creative heritage. If you're a craft lover, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video, and we'll see you in the next one.